Good morning, dear students. Welcome to Science Zoom lesson. Today we are going to revise Unit 4, Light and Dark. We will be revising Lesson 4.4, Shadow Shapes. Objective: I can identify shadows. Children, do you remember what is a shadow and how is it made? Good. Let us watch a video on shadows.
Welcome to Kids Academy.
How much more difficult it is for you to see my hand through it. Objects like this are called translucent. Translucent means that some of the light can pass through, but not all of it. Translucent objects leave a shadow like this. You can see that the inside of the shadow is kind of light. Some of the light is passing through, but some of it is being blocked. If I hold the plastic lid up to the light, it will dim the entire surface. If I hold it closer down like this, you can see the sharp outline of a translucent object, while still letting some of the light come through in the middle. The last object we're going to use are unit cubes. Now you can already tell from the shadow in the background here that this object doesn't let any light pass through. The closer I get to the surface, the darker my shadow gets. But if I put it in front of my light source, it will completely block out all the light. An object that doesn't let any light through like this is called opaque. These objects make very solid shadows like the one you see here. Take a look at our three objects again. We have our opaque unit cubes, our transparent clipboard, and our translucent plastic top. Take a look at the shadows they make. Our transparent clipboard lets the most light through and barely makes any shadow. Our translucent plastic lid makes a little bit of a shadow, but you can still see the light through it. And our opaque unit cubes make a really dark shadow, blocking all the light out. As sunlight comes down to Earth, sometimes it gets blocked by clouds. The clouds will make shadows like this. Try and guess the objects that made these different shadows. This shadow here was found at a restaurant.
What is written over here in the shadow?
It's created by these wooden letters. This shadow is created on a curb near the road.
Can you guess the shadow?
It's a fire hydrant shadow. It was made by a little girl.
Today, we learned that if light traveling from a light source gets blocked, it creates a shadow. Different objects can create different types of shadows. Transparent means all light passes through. These objects are almost invisible. Translucent means some light can pass through. And opaque means no light can pass through. Opaque objects make really good shadows.
That's a lot of cool stuff about shadows. Let's get back to our shadow puppets. See you, pals.
See you next time.
So children, did you enjoy the video? Did you learn all three types of shadows? Good. They are: an object that does not allow any light to pass through it are known as opaque shadows. Objects that allow some lights to pass through it are called translucent objects. And there are some objects that allow most of the light to pass through it. They are called transparent objects. Excellent, children. You have been watching the video carefully. So today we are learning more about shadows. Shadows can be a different shape. Shadows have no color. They are always dark. Shadows have no details like eyes or a mouth. Look at the shadow of the butterfly in the first picture. Can you see the color in the shadow? No. Can you see the eyes of the butterfly? No. Good, children. What about the next picture? Can you see the eyes of the girl? The fingers of the girl? No, you cannot. Can you see the colors of her dress, of her hair in the shadow? No, good children, because shadows have no details. Now, can you tell me why are shadows always dark? Good, because it does not allow light to pass through it or very little light to pass through it. Excellent answer, children. Do shadows always look like the objects that make them? Not really. Shadows do not always look like the object that makes them. Shadows can be a different shape. As you can see in the picture, children, you can see the object that is making the shadow. The hands look very different from the shadow that is being made over there. Shadows can be a different shape. As you can see in the picture. Now, scientific inquiry. Why the shadow has both dark and light patches? This happens because the light is blocked by some parts of the object, which makes the shadow dark, whereas some parts allow light to pass through it and light patches are formed. Higher order thinking question. Does shadow have facial features and clothing details? Can you think and answer? Good. Shadows do not have facial features and clothing details. Let us have a quick summary of what we learned today. We learned shadows can look different from the objects that make them. Shadows can be a different shape. Shadows have no color. They are always dark. Shadows have no details. Thank you so much, children, for attending Zoom lesson. See you tomorrow with a new lesson. Until then, goodbye and have a nice time.